right, let's go.
Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a different video from our normal cook-up videos. I used to do a lot of these types of videos back then when I first started the channel, and I got to bring more of these back. Today, we're going to be going over a highly requested video from you guys of how to sell kits as a producer. That's sample packs, drum kits, VST banks, any type of product you think of selling as a producer, and the 5 most important things you have to have in order to make this work. This is going to be a really long video because I like to talk a lot to really cover every one of these topics. I do have some notes over here because I want to make sure that I cover everything. I have 5 main topics we're going to go over for this video, which are like you gotta do these ones no matter what. And then anything else I can think of extra, we'll get into that as well. So to make this simple, let's just start off with number 1, and that's going to be the product. So the first thing you need in order for this to work, obviously, is the product. So I think that's the best place to start. The reason I say that is because if you're starting from zero and you try to get all these things that I'm about to name to you done in one, it's going to be really hard, really overwhelming. So I like to break things down and make it easy and think, if I started again, what would I be doing to make this simple? Some examples of a digital product as a producer are VST banks, drum kits, sample packs or loop kits, MIDI kits, one-shot kits, and multi-kits, which you guys have heard a lot. Multi-kits are kind of like a couple of these things put into one. So a multi-kit might be an analog lab bank, maybe an Omnisphere preset bank, a drum kit, maybe you have some vocal phrases, you have some live instrument phrases, and you kind of stack a couple of these into a multi-kit and sell that. So for example, myself, I drop a lot of VST banks. So let's kind of talk about each one of these real quick. Let's say you're into sound design. You can drop VST banks. So you can learn a synth in and out, right? For example, you can go into Omnisphere, learn it fully if you already kind of know your way around, and that's perfect. Create some presets from scratch, and you can drop an Omnisphere preset bank. I drop a lot of analog lab banks as well. There's a whole list of VSTs, which is really cool about analog labs, is Arturia has a whole list of VSTs that you can sound design in, different types of synths, and you can save those into an analog lab preset bank. So you can really sound design in a whole bunch of different VSTs by Arturia and save that as an analog lab preset bank. I actually have a full video on this on my channel, so I'll link that in the description as well to make it easy for you guys to understand that route. Since I drop a lot of analog lab banks, I feel like that's a really good talking point to go over. But maybe you're not into sound design, and maybe you're really good at making loops from scratch, full samples from scratch, so you can create these, put them into a pack, get some artwork, and then that is your product. So there's a whole bunch of different routes to go about this, but obviously you need that first thing, which is that digital product. If you're going the sound design route, you can learn a whole bunch of sound design on YouTube. I also have sound design videos on my channel. Again, I'll link that analog lab one down below. But if you're sound designing in another VST, or you see another VST becoming very popular, learn it fully in and out. And if you're able to create preset banks for it, it'd be really good to start creating those preset banks and drop them, because if people are using that VST and it's becoming popular, it's a good thing to have preset banks for it. So again, a whole bunch of different routes to go for this, but that's the first thing you need is the product. Number 2, we need a website. Now we need somewhere to sell these products or offer free downloads in exchange for emails, which we're going to talk about both. Like I told you, this video is going to be dense. We're going to cover almost everything I can think about, but the next thing we need is a site. There are a whole bunch of sites that you could do this on: Shopify, WordPress, Wix, the list goes on. But I personally use PayHip and I love the platform. It's very easy to use. They're also willing to sponsor today's video, so big shout out and big thank you to PayHip. I've been building sites since I first started producing. I'm not gonna lie, after a while you kind of want something that's just a little bit easier to use, and PayHip definitely has one of the easiest store builders out. With PayHip, you get a free domain and hosting with the option to link your custom domain to it, which is what I do, LifeStyleDidIt.com. The second thing I want to go over, which is probably the best part for everyone watching, is that PayHip is actually a free site to use with a 5% transaction fee. The best way I like to explain this is they do have an option where you can pay monthly, and that eliminates that transaction fee. The best way to calculate this and know when to switch to a fully paid option is just look at your sales, take the 5%, see if that 5% on the transaction fees would be more than you paying monthly. And then at that point, before that happens, just switch over to the paid plan, and then you don't have that transaction fee. But let's say you're just starting out, you want to build a site and have a free product to collect emails. You can go with the free option, and then you won't even have that 5% transaction fee until you start selling a product. So it makes it really easy if you're just starting out and you don't want to pay anything monthly yet, and then you start to see the sales grow and the site grow, which would be the best option, right? And then again, do the math on it. Once that 5% starts making more sense for you to just be over on a paid option, move over to the paid option, and then you don't have to pay that 5% on any of the sales. But you could really start this, create your site, get some products going, and just have a store kind of moving while you're getting everything else going. And it's very easy to create one. Couple more key points with PayUp. You could sell digital products, courses, memberships, and physical products. PayUp has a whole bunch of different payment gateways. I'll throw them on the screen right here so you can see them. They also have the option where they could take care of EU and VAT taxes on your behalf. They're also soon to become a global merchant of record. What this means is you could sell globally and you have the option to let PayHip handle the sales tax for you. So as mentioned, PayUp is what I use for my site. If you want to check it out, I have a link in the description. You could sign up for free, as I mentioned, start building out your site. Or if you want, you can just go straight over to the paid plan. Both you have the same options. As mentioned, with the free option, the free monthly option, there is a 5% transaction fee that happens. But if that makes more sense for you right now than paying upfront, obviously you can sign up for that, get started for free on both, and get started building out your site. Now let's get into the third part of this, which is the mailing list. So for this, you can sign up for a service like MailChimp, Aweber, Constant Contact. There's a whole bunch of other ones I'm trying to think. Obviously, you only need one. So just kind of do your research, compare the options. Some of these do have free options as well, which you can go into and have up to like a certain amount of contacts or subscribers on your mailing list. So really just kind of look into all these or just do a quick Google search, find like 5, I would say, and then just compare them, see which one makes sense for you, and then really just start learning about it. So let's talk about different lists or audiences we can build on these mailing service platforms. You can have so many different types of lists or audiences. So all I mean by that is a way to kind of just have 2 different lists. So for example, if we were to drop a free product, right? We'll talk about this a little bit more later in the video. But for example, we have a list where all the customers that got our free products are inside of, right? So we have this audience, we just maybe call it free download, producer free download list. And in there is all the contacts that signed up to get our free kits. And then once we start selling kits, we have another audience that is all like the paid customers that have actually come and bought kits from us. So you might be asking, why would we want an email list full of people that got a free download, right? So for example, on these mailing services, you can build out like opt-in pages or widgets that you can throw into PayHip. You can also do free downloads on PayHip and take those emails and plug them into your email list. But the reason that we would want to do this is because we can offer an email in exchange for a free download to build up this list, which we can then market different types of kits, services you're offering, or even just a email list where you're giving out free game and really like we're just sending to this list some value, right? One thing I will say about the free list signups is I would always enable double opt-in on these. And all that means is that if someone were to sign up, they get an email first, which they have to verify. So there's kind of like 2 parts to this. Double opt-in can say that it does kind of hurt the conversion rate because it is annoying if someone signs up and then they have to go into their email and click like, yes, I want to sign up. But what this does is really help out because then it's only adding people to your list that sent you like a valid email of that they wanted to sign up pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like they dropped their email in there and then they went into their email and they hit yes. So you know that that subscriber really wanted to join your list and that's an email they have access to that they are ready to receive emails to. So double opt-in just makes your list a bit stronger. But with that being said, you can kind of choose to not do that or to do it. But I just really wanted to mention that option because it's just something I thought about. So let's go over the free list part. So on PayHip, we built out a page. We either did the free product directly on PayHip and then we can link the list there, or inside your mailing list service, you might have like a little widget or page you can build out where people can sign up directly there. And then you just take that code over and you paste it on your site. So when it loads up your site, the pop-up comes up to get like 20% off the first purchase, sign up with your email. You guys have seen this a million times. Or a free kit, right? Or some free samples in exchange for the email. And then maybe you can have that double opt-in. So then these people get put on your free list and then the kit gets sent out. So you have to set all that up. So with that being said, you can go and market, which we'll talk about later. And then we could go down the whole rabbit hole of having a drip campaign. If you guys want me to do a whole nother video on that, we can as well. When people sign up, they automatically get sent one email, then 2 days later, another email, and you can send it down like a funnel. And then maybe at the last day, right? If you do like a a 5-day, 7-day, whatever it may be. You could build it out for an entire month. So someone joins in, they get this email, 3 days later, they get this email. If they reply back, they get this email, right? And then the last email maybe is one of your bundles or your new kits that you're selling. But through each step, they were getting like a free kit. Maybe they got something else for free. You were giving out a whole bunch of game, a whole bunch of advice, boom, 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 boom. And then at the end, you send an offer for a product you have, right? So that's kind of like the easy way to explain how the free list goes. Then obviously your paid list, when you start selling products on the site, is that they'll just automatically get added to that list. And then when you drop new kits or anything new you have coming out, if you make content, if you have a new tutorial, let's say you're doing tutorials, you could send that over to different types of lists that you have built out. But the same thing again with the paid list, you can just do product updates and different types of things like that, to where you're dropping a new product and then you can announce it to people, really whatever it is you want to do. But I just like having the two different lists of like the free signups and then the paid ones. Like I said, there's a whole bunch to go over in this video. I feel like I'm covering a lot, but even at that point, I have so many ideas that are just going through my head, but I'm trying to make this really something you could watch without getting overwhelmed, but also get a lot of information. So if you guys want like a part 2, let me know. Number 4, social media, bro. This is one of the biggest parts to all this. So I'm quickly going to talk about YouTube and Instagram, because those two I can just give you quick examples of how you can utilize this for promoting your products. Obviously, TikTok is a very big place to go. We can go on a whole bunch of different platforms, but the two main ones I'm going to talk about and give you like examples that you could do right when you start and examples that have worked for a really long time. We'll just cover for right now YouTube and Instagram. So we'll start with YouTube and let's go over number 1. So if you create any type of content, tutorials, cook up videos, anything like that, any type of packs that you have on your site that you create, free or paid, whatever it may be, use it inside your videos, and then you can have a call to action inside your video, or you're just always using your packs, right? Have that link in the description, maybe in the pinned comment, talk about it. The reason I'm saying this can go so many different ways is because if you do, let's say, for example, I'm just like brainstorming right now, you do sound design videos, right? So you can do sound design videos where you're showing people how to make something from scratch, whether that be like presets, drums, whatever it is, even if it's like a how to make samples video, right? So you're showing people how to do it from scratch. And then in those videos where you're creating these samples or presets, whatever it may be, you can mention the pack that you just dropped or the free kit that you have out and leave a link to it in the description. The other side, if you're not doing content creation or like tutorials and stuff like that you could do, is that you can go the, like, I guess we could call it like the type beat route, but more so for producers. And you guys have seen this all the time. For example, if you go on YouTube and you type in like free dark trap sample pack or R&B analog lab bank, you know, whatever it is that you're searching for, we all do these types of searches. You can use things like Google Trends to look that up. You can also use like vidIQ and TubeBuddy to kind of see what people are searching. Maybe you put like dark trap analog lab bank, and you're really just kind of looking for keywords that people are looking for. And then you can drop a video where it's showcasing your presets, for example, or your samples. So this is where you can start getting ideas for if you wanted to promote your free pack that you just put out. You can be like a free trap analog lab bank, right? And you post that as a video and it's kind of showcasing the sounds. You guys have probably seen these so many times. And then in there in the description, it can link to your site. You want to have the SEO strategy down where you have a good title and then your keywords match up. But let's say you dropped a new dark trap sample pack, right? So look up what kind of works for that and then drop the video dark trap sample pack. You can also do a free demo version of it where you can have people sign up for that in the description and then maybe try to upsell them to the full pack. Whole bunch of different options, but that's a way to kind of drop it as like, I guess we could say like the type beat version of it, where you're just looking for keywords where people are looking up certain types of kits, and then you can promote your kit that way. And if you have one that ranks for it, it could stay ranked for a long time, and those videos do crazy numbers, and then the conversion rate is also very high for that. So really just think how you want to go about doing that, but you have that option as well. So now let's talk about Instagram. So with Instagram, obviously what you're going to want to be doing, which is sad, bro, but the photo thing is gone. You got to make reels, right? You got to make reels, some type of video content that you could post on Instagram. And in these videos, what you can do is use the packs. Again, the same way you're kind of doing it on YouTube, but use the packs that you're coming out with. So whether that be like a beat breakdown or creating something from scratch, whatever it may be, you can use the packs that you create in these videos. And then a lot of the time you'll see people asking where the sounds came from or what sample that is, whatever it may be. And then it is obviously, if you used your pack, it's from your pack, so you can let them know, and then you can have that link in your bio, or you could DM it to them, which we'll get into the next part. which is one of the best things. But with that being said, you got to make some type of content where you're able to either use your packs in it or promote the packs. Maybe you're doing sound design again, and then you have a new bank or something that you sound designed that you can promote. You've also seen the other videos, POV Blast asks for a beat, POV Future asks for a beat, stuff like that, right? So obviously you can use your packs in the beat that you're creating, or if it's something that you already made and you used your packs in it, then you can do those types of POV videos and then drop those videos. And then in the description, maybe you could be like, all sounds are from this kit, or you could reply. But let's get to the second one, which kind of ties into this and makes everything really easy. So you guys have probably seen that time when you see someone like reply this word or reply this emoji and I'll send you blah, 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 right, on Instagram. You've probably even replied on a couple of my reels or my story and seen it happen, and then you get that auto DM, right? So what that is something called ManyChat. So you go look it up, ManyChat.com. They do have a free option, which is I think up to like 2,000 replies, which is really good. So you can really start honestly all this with free options, which is crazy. So with ManyChat, once you have it set up and it's linked and everything's ready to go, all you literally do is like create like a quick thing to tell it like, okay, when somebody replies to this story or when someone replies to this reel with this keyword, send them this message. That's like the most basic way that happens. You can go, I mean, that thing, you go crazy with ManyChat, I'm not gonna lie, but that's like the most basic way and the most basic setup, right? So let me give you like the game plan for this, okay? So let's say we cooked up a beat today. We're using the new pack that we have coming out, right? So maybe all the sounds in it were from this new pack, this new multi-kit, whatever it may be. And then I finish the beat, blah, blah, blah. And then I record like a video that I'm going to have a reel for it. And I'm just kind of thinking, all right, I'll do like a POV, this artist asked for that, you know? So I just reacting to it, boom, boom, boom. I make a reel out of it. Or I'm doing like a quick cook up video and I'm just cooking up a beat and I'm using all the sounds. Regardless, we get the content first, right? And then from there, before we post it, obviously go on ManyChat and create that automation, make it set for like the next post that you're gonna do, and then have it reply the keyword. So let's say we have the bank and the bank is called light, right? So you make it, send this DM to anyone that replies the word light on this next reel. Boom. So now it's set up. So then the reel comes out. You know what I'm saying? You can either put it on screen or in the caption, whatever. So you can, let's say the caption is just like POV Blast asks for a beat, right? Then in the description or whatever you call it of the video where you know what I'm saying? You type in the little thing before the hashtags. I can't remember the description, whatever it is, bro, on Instagram. You put like reply light if you want to try some of these sounds, you know what I'm saying? Or reply light to get my newest sample pack, whatever it is. And when people reply to that, it'll automatically send them that message that you sent out on ManyChat. So as mentioned, there is the free version of it. I feel like back then you used to have to, I remember back then I used to like drop stuff like that and have people reply. And then I would literally DM them one at a time before it was a thing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it would be a lot of time if you got like 50 people replying and then you had to go, you know, person by person and send them that DM to like the link of it. But you can get creative with this, and maybe you're doing a free demo or a completely free pack. So you send them over to the site that you created out on PayHip where you have the free product, or it's a paid product with a free demo. So you have so many different options of kind of how to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm kind of giving you guys like the whole blueprint of it. But the number of things you can do with all of these to promote these products is crazy. So you just got to get creative with the thought process behind it. But these are the tools that you could use to get started. This one was more of like a bonus tip that I randomly thought about, but this one is super big if you have producer homies or just anyone in general that you can collab with. So this one we're going to talk about is collabing. For example, you guys have seen me and my dog Infinite collabing all the time, right? We drop collab kits together, we drop collab videos together. So the reason I brought this up to give you an example is maybe you have another producer homie that makes like crazy guitar samples, right? So you have him make a whole bunch of crazy guitar samples from scratch. Maybe you sing a little bit and you guys could drop a pack together that's like guitar samples and a vocal kit, and they can go together, right? So you guys can create a pack together, which is going to enable you to be able to promote it on 2 different channels for YouTube, also promote it on your 2 different social medias, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be. And then maybe you guys could do one mailing list together or drop it on both. It doesn't matter because you guys both have different audiences. You come together and be like, hey, we collabed on this kit. and then boom, you send them to a product page, right? So the best thing is on PayHip, you can actually have a product and you can do collab splits on it. So you guys both sign up, and then what could happen is that when someone checks out on your site or their site, depending how you guys want to set it up, you could both be a collaborator on this product. When someone checks out on that collab pack, it gets split between both of you. So again, you don't even both have to have a store. You could be the one with the whole store, the mailing list, all that, and then maybe your homie just has like an Instagram or a YouTube, and then you send all the traffic just to one site. On that site, that collab product that you guys have set up is going to get split. The profits are going to get split automatically. So you could all just send traffic to one spot, just depending how you want to do it. But collabing is super beneficial, and you can get so many more ideas done together. And then obviously when you come together and then you collab on videos, or if you get to link up, you could do things over Zoom, Discord, whatever it may be. It's just even more entertaining for people to watch. And then you have both audiences that are watching both of your guys' content. You guys have seen it a million times. When you see people collab, it's just entertaining to watch some of your favorite creators or producers or artists, whatever it may be, come together and make something. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about, and this one I was going to leave out of the video just because I feel like the other options are all free for you to be able to get started if you've never done it before. This next one is a little bit more advanced. So the other reason I kind of didn't want to necessarily bring it up in this video, so I'll just briefly bring it up, is paid advertising. You have a whole bunch of different types of paid advertising you could do. You can run Facebook ads because obviously those link to Instagram, right? But this is like a whole rabbit hole we can get down to, and you really do have to kind of learn that system. It's not something that you could just turn on and then be like, oh yeah, boost this post and it's going to be like a whole bunch of sales. It doesn't really work like that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to spend money. You're going to have to learn the whole system or hire somebody that can do it, like marketing agency or something like that, right? So that's why I just want to mention it, but I don't want to give it as like, oh yeah, do this, because as I said, it is a whole rabbit hole that you go down that you really need to know and learn about. And I don't want to tell you just go do paid ads. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with that being said, learn that side so you get into it, because it is very powerful. But we'll just keep that as kind of like the other option that you have. So again, I know this video was really long-winded. I feel like I talked a whole bunch. Hopefully it was everything I was thinking, because I know after this I might think of a couple more things that I should have added. But if you guys want more videos like this, drop a link. Not drop a link, bro. See what I'm saying? We're talking about links too much. Drop a comment down below, leave a thumbs up, let me know what you thought about this and if I should do more of this, and if you have any like random questions about that. And again, I want to thank PayHip for sponsoring today's video. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, you can set up your store for free today. Just hit that link in the description. Right now you can go create your whole site and have free products on there without paying anything, which is amazing. So again, shout out to PayHip. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. That's all I got for today's video. Till the next one, peace.